Hello everyone, welcome. I just noticed I did not update my stream titles. It's been a while since I've streamed and I've forgotten how to do this. Sad. That. So I'm gonna update my title really quick. How's everyone's week going? How's everyone's life going? It's been a while, as I said. My hair is really long. I got cut in a long time. Kind of weird having long hair constantly. I don't know. I haven't had hair this long in like 10 years. At least. All right. So today, though, I wanted to work on some fun things with Figma and C#. So Figma is awesome. We're going to take some Figma designs and we're going to turn them into real UI. Now, we've all done stuff like that before, but I want to take it a step further. I don't want to just do that. I want to do it automatically. So I'm working on some code gen stuff that will generate the right kind of code to export these controls and draw them. Now, that's pretty cool and all, but that's not good enough. I kind of want them even better. So we're making them to where it automatically exports them and then animates them and changes states. So it's a real control, not just blank pixels on the screen, because that's boring. No app works that way. So, what should we call the title? Figma yeah. What? Generator, if I can spell generator. All right. Working on Skia. Yay. All right. So let's update that. I did it. And I totally forgot I should have done all that. And none of the tags are right. I don't care. So how is everyone doing? Anyone done anything interesting lately? I've been camping like crazy, enjoying my Alaska summer and getting out, and like every weekend it's been camp, and then short weeks because you're just like work week, camp, and it's been fun, but it's exhausting, but it's been fun. I'm enjoying it. All right. So no one wants to say anything. You guys are very quiet today. There's a few of you in there. I see the counter number. You're there. You're just being silent. It's okay. Well, we can just switch over to my screen. I can start walking you guys through kind of this project setup and kind of look at what we're working at, what we're working with. So if I push that button, yay. And I've even had animations since last time. Do you see that? Look at this. I went through and I did all these fancy animations and I haven't even been live streaming. It's sad. I did spend some time to add some fancy animations in there because why not? They're fun. All right. And animations really make things so much better. So there's two projects, and I can actually have two Visual Studios open to work on this. We'll have one, which is Figma Sharp. Figma Sharp was open source, then it was closed source, and they're working on getting it open sourced again. They didn't follow all the guidelines to get it open sourced under Microsoft stuff, so it will be, but I'm cheating and grabbing their source code anyway. So some of the source code you're not going to have access to. Some of it you can, because I'm also going to be working on it in a second Visual Studio. This one is just Comet. Now I have a branch of Comet. I don't know if I pushed this one up. Hey, GitHub has an update. Let's install it really quick. So I don't know if I've pushed up the Comet stuff I've been working on. I kind of just blew over my old Skia drawing, so I'm not going to keep it this way. Yeah, I did push it up. So there's a Fluent branch on the Comet repo, and anyone needed that, there is the Comet repo. So you can actually look at some of the stuff I've been playing with on there. All right. So what we're doing is I'm splitting things into two classes. The idea is to have these Figma designs, and this is also, you guys have access to all of this as well, because this is from the Microsoft's Figma. There is the Fluent, iOS, Android, and all this Fluent stuff. So this is what I'm using as my starting point. I'll put that into chat too in case anybody wants to play with it. So this is our starting point. What I've done is these things are huge. If you click into them and you can see what all they can do, it's like overwhelming. Just way too much data to work with. So I've created a new Figma file. And this Figma file, I am putting things in here and I'm grouping them in something that makes sense for me for parsing. So I'm creating these frames, and And I give the frame a title, so that way I can categorize these. Like, these are a switch, this is a progress indicator, these are buttons. And I just create this Figma file. And since I've added the assets, the Fluent iOS library, I can just drag these controls out. And if these controls are updated to the library, next time I open this Figma file, it says, hey, do you want to update these to the latest version? I can just click yes, or I can keep them locked on a specific version. So right now, I've been working on the switch and the button. And sorry, my door's slamming. Kids keep coming in my office. All right, so if I run this, we'll be able to see the controls that I've done so far. And I think it would be way faster to just the 2 controls I've done so far. It would have been way faster just to create them myself rather than working on a code generator. But yay, look at that, the button. That button, you can see the subtle animation. It's not very much, but if you look here, those colors are not that drastic of a difference between the 2 states. So you'll notice that when I click on it, it actually animates and fades to that state. It doesn't just quickly switch. And same with this button. If I click on it, the circle actually animates. And that's because you'll notice that the circle here is on the right and then it goes from the left. And I actually just animate those transitions. All right. So to do this though, we need to generate code into an interesting format. And if I go to this project, we can look at the ones that I've already generated. So it's .designer.cs. I just followed that standard thing because it's normal too. This is the code that we're generating. And it's I'm going to work on it a bit more, but right now I'm exporting the layers exactly as they are. And so this is just what comes out of the Figma files. And it's kind of funny. I wonder if the button handler shows it off. They open this designer CS. Being designers who work in the Figma files, there's emojis everywhere in the strings. And so I've kept them because why not? And I've been working with those, but I had to write some stuff to strip out the emojis if I'm going to create a variable based on that file name. But I think I've got it generic enough where I don't need those. I'm just using those for lookup. But I also ran into other issues to where I need to work on a transform file. I have a little bit of a transform set up to automatically fix some of these layers. But yeah, so is there a plan to this Fluent style and Xamarin Forms? So that's kind of what I'm working on. Is I'm building, the idea is if I do this, it should work just fine with .NET MAUI. So I'm doing this against the .NET MAUI style. So this could be a renderer for .NET MAUI. If I get this generator good enough, we can just generate the UI. Of course, why not? That's kind of what I want to do with this. That's kind of my goal. So looking at this though, you'll notice that designers are not consistent. You'll notice that here I have default content label, default content label, default content title. I'm like, really? When it's disabled, it switches to title instead of label? So I need to do some more transform stuff because it's just funny. And then these are all different states, and you'll notice that title and label are duplicated because on one of the layers, if I go to the file on that button, on this one, and it might not even be on both of them. If we expand one of these things out, I don't know if we can see it in here. Primary, build, because these are the ones I'm looking at. I don't know if it'll actually show us the layers in here. I don't know. Okay. Either way though, that little text box in there, right there on one of them is called a weird layer. Like they're just not following conventions. So that's fun. And I don't think anyone was ever expecting anyone to generate code from these things. So it kind of makes sense, but yeah, that inconsistency is making it fun for me. All right. So this is the code that's generated. There's really not much code. What I am doing though, is I am using the Comet shapes and drawing layer. The main reason I'm doing that is I create the rounded rectangle and then I can just say canvas.drawShape. That is the only Skia line. Also the text shaping is all bound directly to Skia right now. But the shape drawing, and we'll see it more if we go to the toggle. So right now, all of this is 100% Comet across platform, doesn't matter where it's drawing. This one line is saying now draw that on Skia. I can do this exact API for iOS and Android, anything. We can specifically do it the way we want to. And so you're not stuck bringing that Skia layer in. So on iOS, you don't need Skia. The iOS drawing layer is really fast, really for performance. So we can do this directly, just add this extension method to core graphics context, and we can make this code work identical on it, which is really awesome. Of course, the overload here is a Skia one, but we'll be able to draw these again on iOS without needing Skia. On Android, you want Skia. The Android drawing layer is so slow, so Skia makes sense there, and it's fine bringing on that extra weight, but it's not needed as much when you're doing it with iOS. So that's why I'm using this layer. And yeah, so this is Comet, which would be, will work. The syntax is basically the same as what's happening with .NET MAUI's MVU. I mean, it's the evolution of Comet. So this should translate over to that just fine. And you'll be able to use any of the MVU controls directly inside of MVVM anyway. So, and this isn't, this is the backing layer anyway. So this will all just work. All right. Now, what I am also doing is I am doing a little bit of code to tie these states up, and I want to come up with something generic, because right now I just blew away all of the material ones I was doing to work on this. And so I want to come up with a generic base button handler, which will have some of this type of stuff, and then we'll just do a single abstract for it to or we'll have a way for it to pass the states in. So this one is saying for the button, that is what the text for the label is, right? Because we have a text for our label. So it is that layer. I mean, not that, that's the value that it's looking for. Because you'll notice that we have inside of these keys, the label value. So the drawing layer knows to look this value up and to draw that value. But since I also said, hey, this is the layer we're changing, whenever the real button's text changes, it's going to use that value. It's going to override that value. So I needed a little something in there to do that. And then also each of these controls have very different ways they handle their disabled states and stuff based on those layer names. These layer names are weird. So like these ones, you'll see like default dot content label dot font. Like I'm able to fill all these things out and get them in a way, but this one has disabled this, right? Now, if we look at what they did inside of the toggle, on, off, parenthesis disabled. So there's a little bit of C# code I have to write that will be specific. Then this one just says, hey, this is how we generate that key, so we know what we're looking for. And so it's just generating this first part. Everything before the dot, it just tells you what that is. And we're doing the same thing on the button, really. And the button is saying everything before the dot to come up with default, pressed, disabled. Well, in that one, it's really easy to follow. What's the control state? That's what that prefix says. So those ones are really easy to do. And then from there, it just grabs out the values. All right. So that's what I've done and where we're at. And let's start working on it a little bit more. Like I said, those two controls are working. Oh, and as I mentioned, animation is automatic because that's just how Comet works. So to do the pure animation, all I have is this is the animation code I wrote. So I have the set values, and I did the text, the button and the toggle differently because I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to write. But it just goes through and sets the states. And then on set state, all I have to do is animate set states. And it's going to completely animate everything that is a variable. And you'll notice for like our toggles, and if we go to the designer, some of our variables are colors or rectangles. And so we have that handle, the little circle is the handle, that's what they called it. And even the shadow. And so they have a shadow, which has a rectangle, and no, the shadow doesn't have a rectangle, it just has the color. So those colors can animate, but it's going to animate all of those variables just because it's inside that animate block, which is really awesome. I do the same thing here on end-to-end animation toggle value, and I just do set state, and I do that same exact thing. On the first set, I don't animate. That's the only reason I have that has set. I might come up with something a little bit cleaner. so I know if it's the first set or not, so I don't have to do that. But then all I have to do is say, hey, animate set those variables, and it goes, which is really, really, really exciting. All right, so the next controls that I have in here to work on, we do have this popover. That one scares me a little bit. It has some masks, and I haven't done any masks yet in Skia, so we'll need to figure out how to do masks. Well, and even masks inside the comment drawing that I haven't done yet. The progress indicator is not going to be too bad. Maybe we can work on that one next. We'll need to do a little bit of math to figure or do something to teach it how to handle the two different rectangles so it knows which rectangle should just be the full width or whatever. Maybe we can work on some different button styles. They might just work. I don't know. We've got lots of button styles. It might need to generate something slightly different. I did do, as I said, I do have a slight config file in here. I have this mapping helper, which tells it how to map these things out, because inside of there, figuring out what each layer is supposed to do and then the different values that come from those things, not consistent in the Figma file. So I have this little thing to figure it out for me. For the most part, most of the ones that I've worked on, the first two, this whole like splitting the string gave me all the values I needed. And then I ran into that popover and it all went out the window. So I have this to map my popover stuff. Like I said, this Figma stuff you guys have access to, so you guys can pick through it and look at it. I wonder, should we work on more button styles? Since I know buttons work and we can see how easily we can generate them. There's just lots of things in this thing. There's action bars. Progress is one that I think won't be too difficult to do. But once I get a couple of these working and parsing, I'm hoping that each one after that is going to be easier, because I'm going to have more of the drawing code figured out and going along. And I didn't even show you any of the stuff to generate the code on here. So I have this whole Skia template thing. This is just a really simple class that takes all the data and puts it into something, into a nice organized thing. So I first loop through the Figma file, create everything into a dictionary of these things. And then right now I'm doing all of my code generation in this file, which is kind of lame. So I have this whole write class, which goes through, and this actually writes that designer file. It's not too much code yet. Like, I'm really impressed with the amount of code I have in there. That's it. So that's pretty fun. Wrote a little indented string builder, so that way my code is nice and formatted. First version, the code wasn't, and it's fine. The IDE fixed it when I opened those files, but I was like, I don't need to be that lazy. So the new one does actually indent code properly. Really easy to use. It's just a string builder, and then all I have to do is I can use it using create braces, which will automatically do braces and indent it, or I can manually just do sp dot increase or decrease, and that will bring the current indentation in and out. And I also had to do a couple weird things to it, because I also let there's a bunch of extension methods that aren't shown here. These extension methods will take any of these things and also generate, because we're reusing things. So it can go in, oops, and ooh, no, that's too big. Why did I do that? Sorry, I cut my screen off. Let me re-put my window right. Weird hotkeys I forget about. It's really nice to go full screen, except when you're sharing not your full screen, and now you guys can't see things. All right, almost. All right, so let's start writing some code. I'm ready to start writing some more code. Just need to decide what class to work on first. All right, so I do have some extension methods for generating some of these different Figma nodes, because Figma Sharp has these different Figma nodes already figured out. So I'm using that as an API to gather data from the Figma file, and then everything after that is all custom. I'm just writing code based off of those. And right now I barely support shadows. I'm not doing it right. I need to clean that up. So there's definitely some code saying, hey, go clean this up. But you'll notice right now I handle text, I handle a rectangle vector, a Figma frame, and I don't do that right yet. I need to work on the Figma frame and actually get some of the layout code working. So that still needs to be done. And yeah, those are the types I support. And you'll notice that inside here, it's like, not supported, not supported. So as those are popping up, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to build that one now. So as these get filled out, it'll be less and less code. And hopefully it'll just be like, hey, go build this, create the map file. And I need to come up with a better mapping thing because right now mine does not work indented in. Maybe we work on that. Let's do that. Let's fix the button because I mentioned the button layers are funky because the disabled uses a totally different text. And I'm like, all right, let's do that. All right, so inside of here, I have this one dictionary with some overrides. And so right here, I just say, hey, go get the control data from this. It goes into here and this tells it how to map it to the right type of class. You'll notice that fluent toggle handler. That's all that is. I just did something to map those. So it knows how to map those things back and forth. We're going to need to do another one. So if we go look at our code here, I want to look at that button and we have this designer. Oops, wrong one. This one. No, not that one. This one. Here we go. We need to make this title merge with label. Now the question is, do I do it based off of state? Or, yeah, I'll do that. So we're going to need a tuple to do that. I don't know if I need state or if I need... All right, yeah, we'll do it. All right. So for now, I'm going to be super lame. I just love dictionaries for these. Later, I'll refactor this into some sort of file format. So that way we can just provide like a JSON file or something. But that's a lot of work when you're prototyping. I always start out way simpler and nothing's better than a dictionary. All right, so string, string, we'll do, this first one will be a string. I think it's called category. I just want to make sure I call it type. Type string. The next one will be, do I need to do subtype? That works for those. I think it'll just be type. We'll increase this if we need it again. For now, we'll just do type, which will be button. And after button, it needs to be string. Oh no, this one will be called state. And then string. This would be the key. All right, and then in here, we're just going to put a string. So what this will do is we'll let us say, let's give it a name. The name on this one is overrides. All right, so we're just going to make this one. This one is going to have one called button. And then the state is disabled. And then we need to go copy this text from here. And we need content title. That string, we need to transform to content label. All right. I am being requested to open sunglasses. And I don't have my knife on my desk. I will open those later. All right. Oh, no, that's not. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, I did this wrong. I know C#. All right, that's what we want to do. Now what I will do is I will add in another one of these things. She left my door open and kids are loud. Hey, yes, working on Figma Sharp. Well, I'm not working on Figma Sharp. I'm using Figma Sharp. So, all right. So we'll use that transform. And from there, that looks good. All right. So what we'll do is we'll just add one more of these things in here. Public static string. Cleanse name. Oh no. And then get variable names shouldn't be too crazy. Let's go look where we're using those. I'm trying to remember. I think they're just in the extensions and maybe a little bit in the program. So at one point, I have a dictionary. This class has a dictionary. of the different variables. State variables. So everywhere state variables use, so I do style state key. Hey, right here, it says state. Perfect. All right. So what we'll do first is we will say var key equals, no, we can just do key equals mapping helper dot get, I don't like the get variable name. We'll do, actually that might not be enough. That's just style, state, and key. That's not actually telling me what the, no, but I know what the thing is because it's the type. I have the type right there. Right. So we'll just do type, I might need to throw state style in there seeing that. Yeah, let's throw style in there. Why not? Okay, so that's why I don't do all these objects ahead of time, because I just don't know what I'm going to need when I'm building these things originally. All right, so let's go here. Let's actually do string state, string key. All right, so now we have that. That looks good, looks good. What we'll do is we will do variable overrides dot try, no, if, and we're gonna add one more in here. All right, now I need to do that again here. All right, so now those are identical. I don't know what the style is, and actually it doesn't matter on these styles. Oh, we're not going to do style right now, because as of right now, style doesn't matter. We'll pass it in, and if we run into one where it matters, we'll just update this dictionary for now. Right now, it doesn't matter. So we'll say if variables.overrides.try get out value. We'll say type state key out key. I don't know. It won't let me do that, will it? No, that might null it out. I don't want to do that. New key. Oh, I need to call that a var. All right, so now what we'll do is we'll just return that new key. All right, return key. Perfect. All right, we're not using style. Totally fine. We may remove it, we may not, but it makes sense for that since that's being passed in. Now if I run this again, actually I might be doing that at the wrong spot. Let's go check the code that was generated. All right, that did not work at all because I'm doing that elsewhere. I'm doing that in the wrong spot. Let's put a breakpoint in here anyway for when this is returned. I just want to make sure that's actually firing. All right, it did. And it came out with content label, which is right, but we're not using that in the right spot. That needs to happen inside these extensions, I think. Let me follow the program really quick. So what we do is we start out by going and getting all those datas. Okay, we go through, we get the controls we want, create the thing, done. Loop through the templates, it does the background. I need to remove that out of here and refactor that. Go through each child and then do that. So that's the background. The child is where all this happens. So inside this generate code, this is where we need that, not in that set thing. So we're going to do generate code, and we're going to have one of these for each layer. And we are going to need to, again, I'm doing generate code, which is going to loop through and do each of these. And each of these has this variable dictionary to where it fills everything out and uses those. And then right in here, I go through and I get its name. And I do node.name. That is where the issue comes from. So right now, if I do this here, I need to repeat it a bunch of times. I could do, that's where I need to have it, is everywhere I do node.name. I could add an extension to that and do like dot. So Figma node, if we had an extension to Figma node, I love extensions if you hadn't noticed. Oh, I already have the cleanse name, which happens. This happens to that node name at places or at times. That's when I'm going to use it as a variable. Oops, just turn my sound down. But maybe I need to do one for those nodes. Get name, get this Figma node. Oh, that's not going to have all the data I need on that because I need also the style, blah, blah, blah. All right, so instead of doing it on the Figma node, I'm passing into these. Oh, that's the vector coming in. The current architecture has me in a pickle. So when these come in, I do a generate off of that vector. I could pass in this parent rectangle, I need to ditch because that's stupid. I don't need that. I can just do node.parent.rectangle. So I'm going to ditch that. But maybe I change this rectangle to be the current Skia control template. Because from the Skia control template, I have all the data I need. All right, I just broke all my code. We're going to go through. Should have just done a rename of that variable first. Okay, so let's just go into here, and wherever there's this rectangle, parent rectangle, we're going to remove that. Parent dot. I thought I could get that directly. Absolute bounding box on. That I thought I saw multiple places. I thought I saw that on another thing as well. Let's search in this file because I'm pretty sure. There it is. It's on canvas. It's on a slice. This API could use a little bit of, it's on frame. It's on most things. Oh, there's an absolute bounding box. Everything that I'm working on though at this point has that. Did he do that? Just the slice and the vector has that. Yet we saw that elsewhere, so we need to fix that. So this, one of the frame, maybe they all have it. We can just do that. Or I can undo and leave it how I had it and just add that existing overload. Thoughts? This stuff's fun. Or I wonder if I could do something to where I fix those nodes. Ooh, maybe. Let's undo all of the things oh no, I want all this stuff and all my to-do saying go fix this. Let me undo everything I just did. That's me fixing wow, I just undid way too much. All right. Now we're to the point where I want to undo this. Okay, I know what to do. What we're doing is at one point, we are looping through this stuff and we are creating these control templates, right? As we're creating this control template stuff inside of here, we should just do it directly to the node. Let's edit that node name because I just want those node names to be consistent so that way they're used everywhere and they'll be identical there. So let's look at that. At one point, I loop through everything and I set the style. I don't recursively loop through all the way, but I can. All right, so what we'll do, it'll be a tad bit slower to loop through it multiple times, but we'll do that here. And right now we're only fixing one name, but there's going to be more things that are messed up. There just is. All right, so let's do template. And now we have the set style thing. All right, so let's do all right. Is that the right? Let me look at that because I'm going to loop through all the controls and add them in, and this groups them all. And then from there, I loop through each template and I do all of that stuff to it. Maybe I just cleanse the name first. If I do this to each Figma instance and I clean the name there, it'll loop through each of its children and call a clean name on it. All right, we'll do that. Will I have the right data? If I do it right here, I'll have the data. So I'll be able to pass in what it's in. Let's put a breakpoint right here. Let's just see what's going on. See at what point this is happening, what we have in front of us. So we should have, the first one is going to be the switch. And inside the switch, it gives us children. And then there's the handle. So I'll be able to loop through each of its children. Here's more. This one's going to be a switch too. I do this like a bunch of times. Still on the dark switch. Let's see if we can find one of those buttons. Come on. Oh, wait, no, that's a button. All right. So that's the disabled, which is one of the ones that has the weird. So inside the children, one of these layers, it's going to be content. And then inside of that, it's going to be this text, which is now title. Okay, so that's what I want. I need to change that from the pencil title to pencil label, which shows me my mapping data stuff is off. All right, that's what we'll do. What we'll do is right here, we'll loop through, after we get that data, we'll loop through each of its children. I think that's safe to do. All right, so let's go into our mapping helper and let's fix that because it's not, the content is because the parent prefix. So we're just going to do I wonder if I need to do something that says depth. Right now, button's the only one we need to deal with. So we're just going to hard code this to what we need for the button. And all right, so now what we'll do is we'll do an extension. Public static void fix names. This will take in a Figma node, and we're going to pass in string type, string is it state, and that's it. All right. So now var new name new equals get what's that variable thing we have? We need mapping helper for dot get variable name. Now here we pass in type. We pass in do style as well. Keep it consistent. Style, state, and the key is the node.name. All right. So now we're just going to set them because it's no big deal. It's going to be the same amount of speed, I think, if we're doing that. Now for each var c in node.show. Where does children live? All right, we'll just do that. So if node is container, we'll do that. C in container, we'll do c dot. What do you mean? Oh, it's container dot children. C dot fix names, and we'll do the pass those things in type, style, state. All right. So now in our program right here, get all that out. We can do c dot fix names and data dot type, data dot style, data dot state. I should just pass that class in instead. Control data. I like that better. Then anything we add to that, we can just get off. All right, so now we'll do data dot type, data dot style, and there we go. I like it. Much cleaner. All right, now let's run this. And at some point in our fix mappings, we just got that new, where is this getting called from? Did I have old code still calling it? Yes, I do. Let's kill this. All right, so now we've returned label. That should work. All right, so now if we go check our generated code, that update. Oh no, it said label. Never mind. I saw label. They're consistent. Now this only has label, not title as well. So that just got a lot cleaner. Beautiful. Let's go remove that code and put it into the other stuff. So here's our other one. Our other one had duplicates. And that should compile. And I realized while working on this, my hot reload implementation does not work with partial classes. I'm going to close my door again. I don't know why the kids keep opening it. All right. Well, that's exciting. Let's run this and make sure our button still works. But I'm really hoping that Right now I'm doing a bunch of the tedious stuff because I'm only working on my second control. Button still works. That's awesome. I just love how easy it is to animate these things. That's my favorite part. All right. Once we get this transform stuff done though, because this is the tedious part. I mean, that's all the drawing code. I would delete spaces. I have too many spaces in there, but it's generated code. I can't complain. That's the drawing code. Can't complain about that. And it even sets up all the mapper stuff automatically. So what this mapper stuff does in here is it has the drawing thing. It says, hey, the background, I'm going to do this. And whenever you get to draw your content, I got that covered as well for the button stuff. And then it tells you this is the order in which to draw. Draw the clip shape, background, content, overlay. Done. Pretty sweet. And so a lot of that's just boilerplate stuff. This is all the variables that are needed to draw it. The fill background color, we do have content label because that is the different values. It could change based on state, but we still pass that in. That way, if you don't pass anything at all, it will at least draw something. And then here's the different states that we need to worry about because you'll notice these are all unique. There is the background, the label, the font, and the color. So those are the different variables we care about. And then draw it. I mean, yeah. And of course, the animating is just setting those values and it auto animates as those values change. All right. I think I'm still writing more code than I'm generating. No, it's about even right now. We can fix this though. We're going to create a base class that will fix a lot of this for me. So we're not there yet. We'll do it. All right. I like it. Let's work on the next control. Then we'll work on some of the actual writing code generation. You guys enjoying this? Hopefully this isn't too boring of a stream. Some of you guys are sticking around. No one's talking. You guys are silent crowd tonight. Today. It's only afternoon. It's not tonight. Might be tonight for some of you guys. Very silent crowd tonight. Oh, I don't have music on. What am I thinking? All right. Let's get coding. I'm going to commit some of that stuff I just did first. All right, we added in this. Oh, nice. Wow. What do you do in Nigeria? I'm guessing a programmer since you're hanging out in this stream. All right. My wife does online classes and has recently she's been coordinating. She had to do some group projects with a lady out of South Africa, and ever since they took the classes together a semester or two ago, they've been making sure to coordinate classes. It's kind of funny how, because the time zones are so crazy between here and Africa, yet they've been managing to make it work because then they get to work on their class projects together again. Time zones are crazy. All right, so let's added code for updating layer names. All right, so now I'm going to talk to the Figma. I'm not the Figma. I'm going to talk to the Fluent UI team at some point and be like, hey, let's make these things consistent, but I don't know if that's going to work. And maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if they don't, at least I can now handle it. That's the important part. All right, let's pick a control. Do you guys care what do we want to work on more buttons? Do you have anything you want to work on? So do I keep the filled data? I don't say that's a filled. I might not have enough data in my style. I'm not doing anything with the styles right now anyway. I'm being super lame. Okay, we'll work on sliders. You'll notice that each of these have a light and a dark theme. I'm actually dropping that data right now and only drawing the light just because I didn't want to deal with that. So at some point we've got to deal with that. I'm generating all that, or I got all that code coming in here and I'm keeping track of that. because I have style subtype. So the subtype, let's just double check on that subtype. On those buttons, those subtypes should be filled or whatever. So I'm going to put a breakpoint. I just want to verify I'm capturing everything I think I am. All right, we'll work on sliders next. Sliders are going to be fun because we're going to have to manipulate one of those variables in a predictable manner. All right, so buttons, styles 01. Is that what I'm storing that as? No, styles light and dark. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jessipas. Oh, subscription, even, wow, thank you. I was like, I thought you followed. I've seen you follow before. Confusing, okay. So right now I'm getting that 01, which is this. That's not what I want. We're gonna need to fix our style stuff. We can fix that later. All right, let's work on sliders. All right. So inside of this code generation, we're not even trying to generate that. You'll notice my output is only doing these two buttons. The reason is I didn't add it here yet. So what we put into here is, I can't spell ever. Why am I saying today? But it's really bad today. All right, progress indicator. So I need to put whatever's in that. And I named that, so that's on me. I should just call it progress, but we're gonna call it progress indicator. Equals. We're gonna do fluent. Yeah. All right, let's put a semicolon so that stops yelling. And then in here, what we need to do is inside of our comment thing, the way these works is I tell it what each of these say, hey, this is a button handler and it takes care of a button type. So that's the comment type that it's going to be handling. And so I think it's called progress, but I want to make sure. So inside of our controls, it's progress bar. All right. I love how tiny the comment code is. There's nothing in there. It's awesome. All right. It's my goal, to write as little code to allow me to write as little code. All right, perfect. So now we have the progress indicator. So now this will try and generate. I have no idea what it's going to create. Let's go look. All right. Oh, let me remove this breakpoint. Check it out. We've got one more file. It should be pretty good. It should do everything because it's just rectangles. What we're going to need to do though, do I have two hells? Yeah, I can't type, guys. I can't spell, can't type. It's funny, when I was like talking about, when I wanted to, like, I thought about becoming a programmer in high school, but I realized you'd have to type and I hated typing. I totally like goofed off through typing class. Typing class was required when I was a kid and I didn't do it very well. I played the original Warcraft. Yeah, we figured out how to make that work in class. In DOS, it was pure DOS. Drop down to DOS and we'd play Warcraft instead of typing class. And so I'm like, I wish I would have done better. And I've gotten better over the years, of course. But I'm like, why program? You just type all day. If only it was only typing. That would be easy. You have to think instead. Oops, wrong hotkey. All right, so we've got that. Let's run that again. Now we'll get a new one because this old one is going to be misspelled. Thank you for catching my spelling mistakes. All right. That looks pretty dang good. All right. So all we need to do is find the right layers. These emojis everywhere. Like, they put emojis everywhere. It's awesome. I'm not used to having emojis in my code. That's awesome. All right. So we just need to find out what the right layer is to adjust. Because we have our background. This one is the full size. This one is only to half. So we need to just say this is going to be our progress that we're going to adjust. So This shouldn't be much code. This is what I was talking about, how I want to write something generic so I can say, hey, this is the rectangle we're changing because it's a progress bar. And once we have that, it'll be done. All right, so let's copy this into our comment source. And like right now I said, I'm just blowing out a lot of my other stuff and I'll fix that. I mean, the other ones are still there, but I'm just replacing them, brute force replacing them. All right. So we're going to just copy that over. And this one, they're not doing anything weird based on state, although I only have one state in there. All right, before we continue, let's add some more states. All right, so I'm going to move this over so I have more room right now. Click, click, I need to make you bigger. All right, so we just have light and dark state. And notice, like I said, I'm only doing one state because I was just being lazy. We'll fix that later. All right, it's under control. No, controls where switches. And to be honest, there's a crap ton of these progress indicators. Look how many styles they added. There's a shimmer. What's a shimmer? These won't scare me to draw. We'll have to figure that out. Drawing, it's easy. Making it move is not. All right, so I started the linear one. Oh, there's no extra states. Why is there no disabled state on this one? All right, so there is no disabled state. So I might be asking them to add a disabled state. But why would you disable... No, why would you disable the progress indicator? They're not interactive. They don't need disabled state. All right, so we don't have to do anything. It should be good. Let's go build the code we need. Add new class. Actually, I'm going to copy and paste since I've spelled it. Okay, since I spelled it right once. Okay, we'll do that. This is public partial class. And the subclass, I think Skia abstract control. Yeah. All right, perfect. Done, done. Except that's not a button. That is going to be a progress bar. Now I'm also going to grab, I already did the accessibility stuff. And I can't remember what I did. All right, so we're going to grab that. Oh, and I also need to handle sizing at some point because we're not doing anything with sizing. So right now we are working on writing code that will generate from the Microsoft Fluent component stuff. All this beautiful stuff. And you can go find them all on Microsoft's Figma /Figma/at Microsoft. But we're trying to do something that will automatically generate usable interactive user controls based off these Figma designs. And if I get this generator working well enough, we'll get all these controls generated. And as they update them, we'll just click one little button. It generates all these files. We'll copy them in and it should just work. The only things that we'll need to make sure is at times some of these things are going to change a little bit. So it's this one. We'll notice like we have these keys. These keys could change. If they change a layer name, I need to change these to match. So, all right. So in the progress handler, we are going to have a public string and our key, we're going to go copy and paste these because it's an emoji for one. It's this one. All right. Oh, oh no, they're still the same height. Okay. All right, perfect. So now what we're going to need to do is a set state. And actually this set state is different on this one because we don't support multiple states. This maybe we'll do the set state because then it can even animate if you were to do something that toggles the theme. I don't know. Not worried about that. All right, so this one should be way easier. So if we look at our old progress handler, we draw the track. We don't need to deal with any of that stuff. Draw this, draw this. I'm going to steal its interactivity. Do I not need to? No, progress bars aren't interactive. That's the beautiful thing about these things. There's nothing. Progress bars are super simple. Oh, actually, I have a mapper that gets... No, the mappers don't get generated. I have to do the mapper. All right. So I need the mapper. Need that. All right, so the one thing I need to do, instead of on just a redraw, when that progress changes, I need to recalculate. That's not right. So I need to do equals... I did this on the toggle. No, I didn't do it on the toggle. Toggle didn't need it. This is the first one that's going to be slightly interactive. Well, it's not interactive, but it's going to need to change a bigger or more drastic value. On the button handler, I do this. On the button handler, I do this when the text changes, right? So map setup. And this just goes and sets the states, and the set state automatically grabbed out the right key. I did one if the text key equals this, just snag that value from our virtual object. Don't use the one saved. So that's super easy. Now what I need to do is just set, instead of map setup, we're going to do that same thing, but we're just going to set that rectangle. And I'm just going to copy that instead of calling it that. All right. And this one, we can actually type that. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Now what we have to do is, that's the static. It's going to tell the instance one. We can even make this protected. Now this will just be, that's all we need. It doesn't actually, it's just going to calculate. We'll pass. All right, so what we'll do is view handler as fluent progress handler. Dot set prog. No, I should actually fill this out. Now it's happy. All right. Now in here, we know what this key is, right? So what we'll do is we'll take this. We will have to say get environment rectangle F. Oops, I just paused my music. I muted myself. All right, and we want to grab out that key. And I think I can even pass in default. No. This dot bounds. All right. Now here, all I have to do is say rec dot width equals this dot type to virtual dot prog. Okay. I'm trying to remember if I'm supposed to do dot. All right. Times bounds dot width. Set environment. Progress key. And then the value is the rect. That's it. That should work. So what we did is we told it whenever the progress bar value changes, set that. I am missing one thing. We need to do something on this initial setup. So that way you'll notice how all of these have this like these have this thing where I do that initial setup where I set all these values. Because the drawing, I have to do something where I set all these values. All right, so what we'll do is just remember, this is where I need to come up with an abstract class. I need a base class of some sort that will take care of setting up that initial keys, and I don't have that yet. So I have to do this on each control because that's all the code that's needed, which really is not much. Oops, come on, why'd you do that? Scrolling on a Windows title is like the weirdest hotkey to like resizing the window. Like why when I scroll on here? Who does that? Now I can't get my window size the right way so you guys can see it. All right, back. All right, so what we're gonna do, and oh no, sorry. We'll do the same bool. All right, and I did this on this one where I loop through. Maybe I did it on the button. This is what I need to put everywhere. All right. Oh, and this is why I put this in an animated thing. I did this as just so that way I don't have to copy it. This is why I need a base class. Maybe we'll do that now because I'm already getting annoyed. We'll do set values. All right, so here what we'll do is we will say this dot animate and then here we'll just say x dot set rect. There, now that one is animated. All right. So we'll set those default values if it's the first time. Let's just run this puppy. We gotta hook it up first. All right, so progress should just be working. SK progress bar, this is now fluent. All right, so now when we run this, we've switched to our fluent one. The sizing might be weird because I haven't done anything for sizing yet. Yeah, sizing's wrong. Sizing's way wrong. All right, so I need to write code to generate the sizing stuff still. All right, so on the old one, I did. What did I do on the height on that? Do I not need to do sizing on that one? All right, let's put some breakpoints in there. That's our draw background. Let's check what those frames are. Let's go into here. Check our rectangle. Yeah, when you're on your third control and you're like half the code is boilerplate, it's time to refactor. Whoa, hey, check that out. Why is it nothing? All right, bounds is empty. All right, so I used the wrong value. Did I already set these states? Let's see what happened first, because I thought I did them in the right order. Because that shouldn't be empty because we already set a state for it. Is it going to be templated? What do you mean by, like, I'm not sure I follow. I know Javier is working on a bunch of stuff with the different shapes, and this is based off of different style shapes because these shapes are not views. We've talked about that changing. Oh, I know why. I know why, guys. Remember how I had this state transform layer? That is what I need to do for each one. That. All right, bring in that templated UI thing over here. So I'm not worried. So this is how it would work for, no, this is very different. So these are Xamarin Forms controls. I am working on renderers. Does that make sense? So these are just drag and drop replacements for the built-in renderers. So no, I'm not building new, you're not going to have to do like, hey, new this. The concept of those are different though. If I mean, you have full control over this. You'll notice that these have these states. Any of these layers that are drawn, you can change these variables to whatever the crap you want. You can't change out what it draws because it's drawing code. That's really hard to do. You can override those layers, but these are values. If you use this with the emoji as that key, it's going to use that. So yes, you have full power over changing these variables. So you'll notice that in this code that I'm writing, we're saying get value. It's not hard coded. There's no colors inside. Oops, this one. Yeah, I'll close that. You'll notice there is no colors being used in the actual drawing layer. Yep. No code, no color. Just draw the shape. And the text block goes and looks for things with that whatever that first part is, then dot font, dot color, dot all the different font properties. So if you set those, you're off to the races. All right. But yeah, no, that's how Comet and the MVU stuff was always designed, where you can override any part of it just by saying, hey, here's this key. And you can just set that in the root styles of your app and everything just replaces and uses that now. All right, so that's good. That's working. Let's look at, all right, right. We needed to do that layer transforms. Let's look at, with this one, it only does default dot. So we need to just say always return default. Super easy. So we'll take like what the button handler does. And we're going to put this in our progress. Sorry. Okay. That is so dumb. All right. So yes, you'll notice I do object T. This text is an actual string. You can't turn any string into T. So I have to downcast it to an object to then cast it to T, because I'm explicitly saying it's a string value. Now, when you call get value on that one, it's only ever going to be a string, so it's no big deal. But generics, yeah, it's dumb. It's ugly, but it works. All right, so I just closed a bunch of that stuff because I had too many windows open. Let's run that again. Yeah, generics. That's how it works. All right, so now we'll be setting values, and these values are going to be, key is, why is that state keys? Huh. Maybe I didn't need that. Let's just, draws happening. Hey, we have a progress this time. Oh, I thought those were hooked up. All right, so let's put a breakpoint in that fluent. Okay. So let's go into, on the fluent progress, let's see if the value change is actually firing. It is. Am I not calling redraw? But doing this in an animated fashion should do it. Debugger work. I need to see values. All right, now we're seeing values. And we're getting a bounds this time. Why is that height 0? Something's weird with that. What's that? Oh. No, that's right. Default dot. What did I do on? I think that background fill thing. I mean, I think I don't need the default in my. Oh, I need this one. Sorry. No, I did default.content. That's background fill. And I probably need to do something to where that rectangle changes when the size changes too. The background. This thing control might not be right as much as I did. I might need to change. Why is my debugger not working? Pop up. Media window. Background. I actually think my button code is wrong. No, it's probably right because the pressed didn't change either. What did I do in that default where I overrode that? I just want to make sure. Where I did that override. Oh, right here. Text key is default dot. What happens when it's pressed? It didn't switch to pressed, did it? Move some breakpoints because I just want to see what happens there. Now I'm confused. Is it asking for that value again? If it's disabled, that code might not work. I kind of, unless I did in that switch statement. Unless, no, it's not in the designer one. It's in here. Oh, no, I say if key, just snag that out. Which that's obviously right. What did I do in that drawing code? So it does text block for content.label. So I kind of need to do that string, not default dot. That's what's weird. No, I go through and I set it for each state, I believe, in the button. On map setup, set state, I do set values. Which loops through and gets the value for the state. And in my state keys, my state keys are this. Huh. I just wonder if I'm doing something wrong there. It seems to be working. Actually, am I doing it right? It might not even be working at all. Let's verify. So inside that sample, we are doing that button should say hello. We're not doing it right. I am totally doing it wrong. And that's why. All right, so let's look at that. Let's debug this thing. I want this code. All right, let's hope the debugger is going to work. Background fill. Content.label. Yeah. My text key's default dot. Knew I was doing that wrong. Plus play a couple times. All right, that's wrong. So let's just try doing this. I can't hot reload because I broke partial classes don't hot reload. I did not think that through when I built these. I'm going to add more IDE support to make that work. Actually, this should be That's what I should do. Although the casting disk T should do that. Hey, that says hello now. All right, so let's go check our progress stuff then. I wonder if it's the same problem on the progress. Ooh, no, we have nothing. Oh no, look, it's doing something. Why is, oh, it's because it's animated. Like, why is it slow? All right, I don't want animation. Animation's lame. It's working though. Yeah, there's no point in animating that thing. It should just go straight to it. All right, that's cool. All right, so let's go to the progress handler. Well, that cleans up this code. Now let's run that again. Oh, that's awesome. Why does it start out empty though? Check that out. Oops, clicked off. All right, so let's figure out why that initial value is wrong. Oh, I think it's because this bounds is wrong at first. There is no bounds. Let's see if that fixes it. That did, but now that's not, is that right? No, we're not getting that light ground background. Something's wrong. Let's figure out what's going on. We're not drawing our background there. And that needs fixed. I'm just going to break this code apart to make it easier to debug. And what's the background fill color? Backgrounds, what is that, white, all ones? Okay, so that's drawing the background the right size. It's getting a height of 0, 0, 0, 0. Why is that? That's the wrong value. That is getting the complete wrong value. I have something wrong in the code generator. Because the code generator, there's progress rect. It should be doing background rect with the paintbrush. And again, this is wrong because we need to teach this how to expand. Like I said, I haven't done anything with layout code yet. Oops. Let's try that. And then if that's right, let's go find out why that's not drawing stuff right. Oh, it's getting the wrong color too. All right, that should give us our light gray. And then we need to figure out why the generator was not generating that right. Layer order is wrong too. So that rectangle might be a different rectangle. I don't know. We'll have to go dig in. Let me fix those layer orders and then we'll go figure out the code. We'll look at the JSON. Hey, that's looking better, but that's dark gray. That should not be dark gray. Whoa. And again, the size isn't right because we're overflowing because sizes are different. So we'll need to fix that too. That's cool though. I like it. All right, I'm gonna like AFK for like 2 seconds though, really quick. Go refill my water bottle. I'll be right back, and we'll figure out what's going on with those variables, why that size isn't right, and all that fun stuff. So be right back. All right, I am back. Told you to be quick. All right, so let's figure out what's up with these layers. All right, so inside this drawing code, let's go dig through it. Let's put some breakpoints in there. Let's grab the JSON out. Is this the right JSON? This might be the right JSON. So inside of here, I cache the JSON. All right, so we'll look at this code. Let's find the slider. So the first one's buttons. Oh no, so go into here. First one is buttons, I think. No, switch. Switch is first. Button is next. All right, here's progress indicator. All right, so it has 2 children. First one's the dark. Doesn't matter the order. All right, so inside of there, this is a thing. It has a background. That's what we're missing. Why is that not showing up? So it has a background color. Then it has the progress. Where's rectangle coming from? No idea. Let's dig in. To be honest, I might actually delete all the other children while we're working on this. Nice thing is this is a cached file. So this one, if I delete the thing, it re-downloads it from Figma. So we're going to delete popover. This is the one we want. So we're going to delete, delete. Now save. All right, so now when we run it, this generator is only going to grab is only going to have the progress in it. All right, so it does the background, which we know it does. It goes through. Now it goes through and does the layers. Actually, let's verify. Maybe the dark one is different. And dark is first. Yes, look, check this out. Progress. Inconsistencies, guys. I need to do something that says, hey, this is the template we care about. Because the dark one's good. And I should now have both those in there, I think. Let's go look at that. No, I wonder why it's not getting the rectangle. It's using the rectangle's drawing, but not the rectangle's variables. It did for the drawing order, but the variables. All right, so inside of here. Oh, I was doing that. Now I'm just using the last one, but then not setting. All right, so let's put some breakpoints in here. All right, so this first one generates is the dark one. And it's going to have two variables. The variables we're expecting. And it's going to have the drawing layer for both light, or for the background and the fill. Oh no, that's the color, sorry. And here's the drawing code. That's what I was expecting. All right, and now if we go to templates, I don't know, so now it should add those variables in. This is, wait, what? All right, template.set the variables. And variables is not null, we know that has the two layers. Now I'm going to check background. Oh, we already have background, because background, because those emojis. I clean that email, I clean those out, and I'm already using this as background. That's paint background, but I need a name for that layer, and I don't override that background layer. Sorry, let me think this through. I wonder if when I create these, I should replace emojis with like an underscore. Because then in this case, I'd have two backgrounds in the right order. All right, let's see what this did really quick. All right, so let's now go to out. And we'll check out this one. Different. Problem is that these layers don't match up because it's paint background on one and not on the other. So that rectangle is messing with us. So we need to do a transform in here again. All right, mapping helper. This time it is progress indicator. And not disabled. This is what's the state? I have no idea. Let's debug this again. Oh, I don't have breakpoints. All right, put a breakpoint here. All right. So this result, I might actually be doing this at the wrong point. Let's do it right here. All right. So the data state is default. Okay. And we need to change rectangle to I think that's what we need. It's funny adding emoji back into it. All right. So now this time, let's check out the light instance. Its children is better now. All right. So now this should look consistent. I don't think I need that background though. I think I don't need that underscores. I think we were fine without them. So let's go back to that cleanse. I think we were just hiding something that didn't matter. All right, let's run this again. Think we're getting somewhere. Let's run that. Let's grab this code. And we will, oops, no, that doesn't get copied there. We'll just copy. All right, let's go copy this here into the designer. Let's run it. All right, I think we're getting somewhere. All right. No, no, where's our background layer? Where'd it go? Why is that out of order? All right, Stuart, what are you doing? You're loud. Kids playing behind the green screen. There's something about my office. Just a fun place to be. All right, so let's check out these layers. Why are these backwards? We go to this one and we put some breakpoints in here. It does the background, does our progress, then the background. Why? All right, so let's go to our generation. It's something weird with our code generation. Let's look at when we put all of our drawing layers in. All right, so first we're saying clean name is progress. Why does this? Oh, our drawing layers. Let's look at these one more time. That background just bit me. All right, so it's, oh no, this is the second one. So this children, its name is rectangle, and that one is paint progress. This one is the dark one, and it is paint background, which paint background is actually too generic and overwrites with the other background. Didn't I just fix it to... I have two different names. This one, oh, that's the background rect. That's not right. I did the wrong thing. It's just paint background. All right, so let's fix this. So this just is... I fixed that one better. I'm going to change them both to paint background rect. That way it's a different thing. All right, so let's run that. Run this, see what that does. I think that'll do it. Because that background was conflicting. Now it does background, background rect, and then progress. And now that variable's background rect rect, which, whatever. All right, so let's copy all that in. Let's put that into here. And now I think our orders are in the right order. Yay, that's perfect. Hello, work, perfect, perfect. Except, of course, the size, because we need to fix that rectangle. So now we can fix this. All right, so what we'll do, we're going to need a second layer inside of our progress handler. Oops, whoa, what'd I do? All right, oh, I don't have my... let's go to my settings. That just like crashed. Open system preferences. New OS update, reset everything, I'm guessing. I love that, using my watch as the password thing. All right, Keycaster. This thing is great, except it never shows things at first. All right, so let's try Keycaster again. I gave you the power. You guys saw me give it the power. Of course I want to, oh no, it does. All right, well, I don't know if there's another, or input monitoring. That's the one I needed. Not right now, bud. All right, let's try that. Hey, now I'm getting keys. All right, now you can see my hotkeys. I don't know why I didn't have that on. All right, so what I want to do here is I also this is background rect. This one will be the... All right, so now whenever we set this bounds, this we'll do... All right, I'm gonna close my door. I know I have good background noise stuff removal. I still hear it. I get the raw mic input and I hear it. All right, there we go. So now we'll just set the background to be this, do the same thing. Let's copy that same thing over, just reuse the same variable. In this, it is background. All right. Should be it. I don't know if we should fix the heights or not. Like if they're forced. I guess this goes back to where I should do some of the layout stuff. Hey, check that out. I like it. Getting a little bit of lag, input lag. Oh, do I want to support just arbitrary clicking in that slider? I should do that. Either way, there we go. There we go. That works. I like it. That works. All right, progress is done. Said I still need to figure out dark, and that is this the light one? No, that's the dark one. Why is it painting the wrong one? Do I just grab first? I do just grab first, and that one, I don't know, maybe I grab last. I don't know. We need to figure out colors at some point. Like I said, I just have been lazy and haven't done that. But it's easy enough to do. These keys I'm concatenating for inside of here. It's easy enough just to, nope, it's on this one. It's easy enough to do this and just mix in the style right into it. All right. Progress is done. Your request has been granted. All right. Thanks. Which one should we do next? Kind of crazy. Progress doesn't have default disabled. I get it, but still seems odd. All right. I'm not doing popover. Just so don't even suggest it. I'm not ready for that. Just not ready for that. All right. So we've got the progress cleaned up using the dark theme instead of the light one. I don't care. It's fine. Sliders. On the other ones, I did light first. I did still on here, so that is weird. What are the options? You can check for yourself, fluent.ios on the Microsoft Figma. There's lots of options. Lots of options. All right. We can work on more buttons, more button styles. Could try a card. I haven't done layout stuff yet. We're going to have to tackle layout. I mean, we could just tackle doing the different colors so we can switch themes. At the same point, I don't know if I want to do them that way or if I should just build it as a style, because I could just do something that generates the comment style stuff. So we can just say, hey, dark theme, light theme. Those are colors. That's really the only thing that changes is colors. So yeah, it's all this crap. There's lots of options. What's a fab? Oh, floating action buttons. Floating action buttons. We could work on making this work without Skia. List is just going to be the cells inside. Those aren't too fancy. That we need layout before we do that. Because Figma, if we look at these files that are coming out, it tells me lots of stuff. Looks like on the frame, it tells me layout data or how it should lay out, which is kind of cool. What are the constraints? And then what happens with the children's? The children's do their thing. So like on the button, let me delete this file so we get a whole new one. All right, so if we remove this cache, it'll go, this next time we run this, it'll take longer, but it'll reset our JSON file. All right, so we're gonna run this again. Let's download a new JSON file. The button shows that off more because the button will say like expanding. I'm guessing the progress bar tells us it can expand as well. All right, so inside of here, the first one is, this is the switch. Oh no, that's the one we want. Okay, so that child is the switch. Why is my CPU pegged? All right, this one's the button. So the button should show this more inside of its children. So the label should have some layout constraints. Top, left, right. And what's its frame have? And then its frame has, yeah, so it gives me some constraints and stuff. I thought I saw something where sizing, layout alignment center, and I haven't done any of that stuff yet on text. Item spacing, I'm ignoring that. That's padding. We need that. But yeah, layout grids. It gives us layout data as well eventually. Which I'm probably going to run into that when we start doing the list view stuff. I don't want to do a circle indicator yet. They scare me. Could, but they scare me. It's a shimmer. Like, what's it do? How does this tell me what it does? I have no idea. Most of those are gone. Segment control stuff. That's going to take more work, but it's not impossible because it needs to have the stuff for the options. I don't even have a segment control in comment, so that's a little bit tricky. Sheets. What do we have in Sheets? No, that's just a boring container. Nothing too fancy in that. Yeah. Just showing off the style. Nothing fancy there. I'm thinking that like most of the stuff that are, we've got most of the determining factors at that point, which is kind of crazy. That buttons, slider. Yeah. Like, I don't know why you would draw this rather than using the built-in iOS ones. I guess they only exist on iPad. Text selection, tab. Oh, that's just the actual tab bar. Text fields, are those going to work differently? Oh, I guess there's all the buttons might make sense because there's all the different button styles, like with an image. And then there's the pill text. Maybe work on some buttons. What's that? What's the little button next to it, though? Yeah. All right, so there's filled, there's outlined. There's so many options in here. I just want to make sure that the drawing layer and the code generation layer is good enough. I don't necessarily need to do these ones specifically. I also have in my Figma the material stuff. I think, did they ever publish that as a library? That's actually better for looking at it. Libraries. Did Google ever do theirs as a material? I don't know if they ever did. However, they do have a Figma. So there is this, so we can even do material. I mean, we should be able to just shove this right in, and I wonder what it'll do. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. I have open. I don't know this. I don't know Figma. I'm horrible at this. Back to files. All right, so I have, here we go. This is the one I was thinking of. So there's this. Maybe that is this. Inside of here, they have like mobile. I could have sworn this, oh, components. Maybe components is what I'm thinking of. There's, I don't know the hotkeys. I mean, we could even try telling it to draw some of these things. Theirs are a bit more opinionated. Well, that's cool. The press date actually draws the fancy stuff. I don't know. Let's work on themes. Let's make the colors work. I think that makes sense. I don't know what else do I want to work on. Unless someone has an option of something they want to build, we'll build that. But let's work on themes. Let's make the light and dark theme work. Because that'll work for all the controls we built so far. All right, so what I'm doing right now is let's look at this code. We loop through in this thing and we like decide to build the stuff out. And I just do on the right class. Let's put a breakpoint right here. All right, so this template will come in and it will have two different styles of light and dark. And at some point I do right here first. I'm just grabbing the first one I find out. And that's wrong. So I need to decide one to be the default. I really do. Which will probably make light. Let's be honest, most apps are light by default. And we'll add the option for that dark style. All right, so what we need to do, let's make it consistent. No, we'll just say that should do it. So that'll take the light. We'll want to loop through and make a let's just see if that fixes that last one we did. Because that last one, it went to the dark theme, which made it weird. No. Hey, it didn't blow up. That's good. Not blowing up is good. So we'll force them all to be light, and then we'll generate the style stuff. And this is where we can show how Comet styling works, because I know we had questions about that already. And then you can create whatever style you want. All right, so what we'll do is from here, we've got that. Let's go copy this over, update that. All right. Yes, now that's using the light theme. That looks better since we were in light. All right, so now let's work on some style stuff. Let's go look at Comet, and I'll show you, like, I've been working on some of the stuff for material. We're working on a material style. And so we'll just generate some code very, very similar to this. So inside of styles, it'd be interesting to get people's feedback on these styles. All right, so style. Right now, we've been just putting on what it is, button, slider. Hey, the only ones we've been doing, perfect. All right, so these have a style. Now these things are very simple. They have the things that you can change. Text color, text font, padding, right? That's all I'm exposing right now. And notice this is a style aware. So you can pass in control state. So you can say when you're declaring these, if we look at the material, I added, it has additional buttons because there's like outline button, contain button, text button, right? Now when I'm creating these things, I can say, okay, the background color, when this thing can be set to an exact color, or you can do a dictionary. And notice here, I just say, hey, straight up color, even though that's a style aware, which is pretty sweet. Just say it's a color, or here's the default, here's the hovered, here's the pressed, and you can change these states up. So we'll be able to create a style, and that style we'll do the default and it'll just automatically switch between them. So we can create a dark theme or a light theme. Those are the two themes we'll create for this thing. With the material, I let you pass in a color palette. And so then that's how you decide. You just say, hey, which color palette are you going to use? Color palette.red, .pink, .purple. And it has all those color palettes from material. So for Fluent, that's what we'll do. We will create a new material style and then we'll have it generate that. Then we'll have it generate things that match the same file names. Okay. And then also the cool thing about this is when you have a button, I can then just I added extension methods for it. So that way you can just do like style as outlined. So when you're creating one of these buttons, you do new button dot style as outlined, and it just sets that style ID for me. And these things are really easy to create. This stuff is just boilerplate, but in the end, that's all that really matters is you just setting those colors. So you'll be able to set these to whatever colors you want, and it'll override all the defaults, and you'll just do style.apply, and you can do that to the global app. You can do that to a page, and then everything underneath it will take it. You can do it just to one control. You can just do control.apply style and pass the style in, and now that one control will use that style. Another one will use a different style, which is pretty sweet. Or you can do it all based style IDs, give control style IDs, and they work. All right, now I've got to think to make this work. It's been a while since I've done this. Yeah, this stuff is just sweet. How it does the shadows, the borders, all that fancy stuff. In a slider, you'll notice I didn't do the state aware stuff because it doesn't matter. It's just one. But you could do it to where like the progress color changes colors when you tap on it. All right. So I'm just going to create one here because then we'll make it generate because I want to know what we're generating. That's how I always start when I'm doing code generation. I kind of write pseudocode for what I want to generate, and then we generate that code. All right, so we're going to start out with, let's create a new folder. All right, so we'll do a base class of a fluent style. Or actually, we'll just do one. We'll do a Boolean for light or dark because that's the only two that it has. We can do an enum. Actually, no, we're going to do a light and a dark separate. We're going to have a base fluent style. This code won't be generated. All right. Now, what we need is to generate. Oh, do I generate that stuff or do I write it? This is the tricky part because inside of here, if we look at those dictionaries, we need to grab out all this color stuff, right? Background fill, background rect fill, and progress fill. We need to grab those colors out. You stop yawning. And if we go look at what I have going on under Skia, let's go look at these other ones. All right, so inside of here for the progress bar, we're going to need the background fill again. We need the background rect fill, progress rect fill. On the button, we need to do all the label dot whatever, font, color, all of that. We need its background. For all the different states. So maybe I will generate some of that because you'll notice I did those for the material. I created a material button like outlined in the different styles. And we're going to have lots of different styles, and I don't want to keep doing that. Just thinking. This is the hard part. If anyone has any thoughts or ideas on how we should do this, feel free to speak up. I wonder if I could just have it use the built-in, because I already have some things for buttons. But I do have a button style. Text font padding. Someone's ringing my front door. Hold on, I will be right back. All right, just Amazon packages. Always Amazon packages coming. All right, so I wonder if we can do something to where these would use the defaults. Maybe we can map those. That would probably make the most sense. If we map these, if we change that to just map to the default button style stuff we have now, and we start filling out that transform so it redoes all those layers and stuff, that would work. And it'll set its defaults automatically, so if you never ever set these, it'll be fine, but then it'll take global colors. So you wouldn't even have to do the specific Fluent one, it'll just work the way it works. I like that, actually. All right, so let's work on that. So what this does, the way this thing works when it applies styles, let me bounce over to here. So the material style, what this thing does is just a really fancy lookup. So when you set the button style, it just goes and applies all these things, right? So if you look at apply button style, which is virtual, it does the set environment. And it's going to do type of button and takes out the state. Now, what this doesn't do much really. All it's doing is setting an environment, and it creates a key based on the ID that comes into it. And so it builds a really simple dictionary. That's all it does. And so then when we do these lookups, we check the dictionary if that exact key we're looking for exists, or it checks based off style ID, checks that first. If that doesn't exist, it then checks off just the type without the style ID and things like that. So we should be able to do some very basic lookups. And what we'll do to show this thing working, let's do this. Let's go put a breakpoint in one of these things. So let's do button handler. When the button handler is getting the, oh, actually, no, it's when we're setting the states. Maybe we need to fix, no, that's fine, because the get value for state gets the default. this isn't going to take into account any of our style stuff. So we're going to need to fix that stuff. That's why I want to do this earlier rather than later, because now we're going to have to change all this crap. Not all of it, but we need to. Really simple to do. All right, so if we go to the Skia abstract control handler, we can look at where this does its text. We'll start there. So this has this, I thought I put it, no, I put it under Skia control. So I did a thing for drawing, for setting up the text stuff, where we can do this whole get text block, which is going to look for all the stuff. So it does get value for state, which is a new thing I just added when I added this text block stuff. And I added this for all the code gen stuff. And I think I'm going to change that API. So what this should do is, see how it says virtual view, get font, and then it passes this in as the default. So that's right. And get color is going to work as well. All of those are going to work. Awesome, I did text right. I'm excited. Text is done right. So we should be able to just build a style and apply it, and it'll just work for these buttons. Let's try it. If it works. All right, so let's go to Common iOS. UI. No, not. We want to go to the sample. I just want to see if this actually is working, because our button should drastically change if this works. And it's blue, which is going to be very similar. There's a pink. All right, so we're going to give it a pink theme, and now our button should switch to pink. Well, at least the text stuff will. Not the background color, because I'm not doing anything with background color yet. We'll fix that. Dang it. Well, pink might actually have white text. That's not on, and would not be insane. Actually, let's double check one other thing. So what I want to do is, inside of Skia control, we're going to put a breakpoint in there. And I'm going to show you the lookup, how the lookup works. That's what I was actually going to do when I went to look at that. I got distracted, lost Skia. Because I really like the lookup system in this. All right, so get font. What it's going to do, it goes and looks up all that stuff. Font's a bad example. There's so much crap in there. Let's do the text color. All right, so this one, what it's going to do is, come on, let me debug this. We jump in, it's going to go, so hey, go get the key for the color. And I have a bunch of these environment keys things so you know what it looks like. Now, what's interesting with this, it jumps into this big mess to where it goes and it gets the get control state key. And if we put a breakpoint here, this is going to manipulate that key. If my debugger will work. Come on, debugger. Catch up. Key is just color. All right, so now if I jump into this views.get environment and we jump through these things, it goes to this one. This starts applying the type. Eventually we'll get to the right one. Get value. These things chain like crazy. All right. Getting somewhere. All right, this is the one I was looking for, I think. Yeah. So this does this huge thing to where it loops through and we'll get a variable based on different things. So it's looking for color, and the current view is a Skia button. It's typed key. Oh, this is an SCake button because I typed it as a Skia button. That's why it's not using that style, because that style sets it for button. That makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And so what it's going to do is it's going to look for that value based on the style key, which is nothing because I don't have a style ID set on this. And so it'll switch and look for skbutton.color as like the very far root down. If we're looking for a button, now if I named that as button, let's change this so we're not forced. Right now I'm forcing that to be a Skia button, so that's right. I probably need to change my keys, my style, to where when it's applying button, how it sets all this of that type. We also need to do type of Skia button, which doesn't exist here. And it's going to go through and set that environment based on that. It's pretty sweet stuff. I really, really like this stuff. But then I'm going to have to set that environment off that. And eventually these just takes that type and it does a string concatenation with that. But yes, that stuff is complicated a little bit, but it's a really cool lookup system to where it'll look based off style ID, type, and it looks at its current view, then goes to its parent and its parent and up. And there's a lot of optimizations done in there. So that way, if nothing was ever set on that parent, it doesn't even do a lookup. It just passes that up to its parent until it gets to the root of the app and says, okay, we're at the root. What's the buttons.color? In this case, it's an SK button because I subclassed. And so an SK button is never set, which I never thought about that. And I'm seeing that now. So since I explicitly said it's an SK button, it's never going to go and find the button dot. So I need to teach the theme for button to also say SK whatever, which is interesting. Interesting thing I never thought of. And I'm wondering what that'll do if you do my button. It's not going to get its parent's theme. I probably need to solve that. It's still technically a button. But I need this to be fast where I'm not looking for button, view, everything. It's an interesting conundrum. All right, let's get back to the problem at hand. I think it's working like I want. We'll just make sure that this other style. I wonder if I can override or tell it to use a specific type for its lookup. I don't know. So that way, anything that subclasses like that, you can say, hey, this will always use button, not itself. I just want it to be fast, so I don't want to loop through each of its, do a bunch of reflection and say, well, what type is this? Let's look at its base type, see if it has one. Oh, we'll check that. I don't want that. I want this lookup to be lightning fast because that is important to me. Making sure, because I use this during animation, I use this a lot. So that lookup has to be fast. So I need to think about how to do that properly. Very, very interesting. Maybe I can do something for that type lookup inside the style stuff. I can teach it a way to say this should use this style. It should use button. It is a button. Oh well. All right. So let's get back to the problem at hand. So let's work on transforming this stuff so it will use button dot, and we can switch the sample really quick. Let's change the sample just a tad. So that way we'll turn on the Skia controls. And then what we will do is we will change our Skia sample. So inside of our Skia sample for right now, I'm not going to commit this, but we will change this to be not a Skia button, but just a button. And normally you won't specify SK whatever. So, oh, no, it actually doesn't matter. All right, so now if I run this, that button will look up using button, not SK button. And it should now have whatever those colors are. Let's remove some breakpoints. I've got lots of these. That's getting null, so it's going to just pass along. So many lookups. Looking up the background color. All right, so let's transform these. So now it would be button.background color. So we need to go into our mapping. Let's look at what came out of our button. Our button gave us this background fill. So we need to change that background fill. Is that coming from me? That's the real question. Did I do background fill here? Because if so, I can just change it to not be, I did. And I just want to verify what I call it. I think I call it background color. So let's look at background color in here. We'll go check what our keys are. So inside a comment, let's close Kia, we have, there's a keys file. All right, so right here we do environment.colors, background color. That's all I want to make sure is we're doing it the right color. All right, so if I do that, now it will use the button's background color. So let's for all the controls. So let's rerun this. All right, so now let's open up a new folder and we'll just copy these files over because I don't want to copy and paste them all. So let's reveal in Finder. All right. We'll just move them. All right, replace. Let's run this again. See if I did it right. Okay, nothing changed colors, which I was only expecting on the button. Let's go look at that button code. Really thought that would have worked. And then we could start doing more. Handlers. Hey, Honey Pop. Hey, how's it going? Sorry, if you'd mentioned that a while ago, my mic is covering my chat. I should move my chat. I'm sorry for not replying sooner if I missed that. I need a noise whenever someone talks in chat. I don't know if there's a mod for that. I don't know if you can hear kids screaming, but there are definitely kids screaming in the background. All right, so let's go look up why that didn't do what it was supposed to. So we've got that fluent button handler. Draw background. It's now using background colored. Yeah, I didn't hear a sound though by using a shout out. Shouldn't it do something? It should like make a noise. Are these, I don't know, that's not muted. Maybe that tab is muted. I must fail at Twitch. I'm not very good at this thing. Still figuring it out. All right, so background color. That should, no, I know why. I know why. I messed up, guys. I'm doing this all wrong. So on our button handler, we are going through and setting these variables. right? That overrode anything we did. So I need to have default values ready so I can pull out the default values. Nothing now, it's white. All right, and I think I know why that did that. All right, so let's look at the background color. Let's look at the code that we are writing here. We are drawing the background and we say this. Instead of use this, will get the current one. I need to do that. That is absolutely right. What I need to do is when that state changes, I need to, instead of type virtual view dot get value I'm just trying things, guys. I never heard a sound that time either. Shout out thing is weird. I don't even know what all these point things do. They're like, you can enable points. Okay, I enabled points. I'm in a meeting. No hiding in my office. I don't know how I'm still in a meeting. It's been a long one, hasn't it? All right, so let's see what values are coming. All right. Is my posture bad? Is it better now? All right, so that's getting a comet color. My kids are yelling at me for being... Okay, so we'll just try this. And then I just want... It's easier to debug. I love the fancy statements. But they're so much harder to debug. Like when which one gets called. All right. So this should be calling the key for background color. And it should be able to get that from our state that we set, our environment. Virtual view is a button. Why does it not get background color? We set... I need a better debugger for this thing so I can be like the global environment. All right, so let's go to let's go to this. So the global environment, if we go view dot, let's just go to view because view, kids, closing my door again. I'm so tempted to lock it. Yes, I am using some C#9. I'm mixing and matching it. It's just the debugability is hard because it would be easy enough, even if I want to do this in 2 lines, to do equals question mark, which only sets if it's C#. Actually, what version am I on? I thought I was on the latest. This project might not be. Yeah, I'm on preview. So it should be doing 9. Is it question mark equals? Did I do that wrong? No, it's equals question mark. That should work. I don't know why that's yelling at me. Right? No, is that right? I thought, oh, okay, it's question mark equal. So yeah. There you go. All right, but again, how do I debug that? Can't debug that. So I'm wrapping things in if statements. We'll write prettier code later. All right. So if we're running this, so yes, it's only going to set it if the value is null. It's this code. It's writing that same thing. Isn't that nice? You don't have to do if checks. You just do it. But yeah, debugging it sucks because yeah, it's so cool. I love the new syntax stuff. It's so nice. It's like, yeah, that just makes sense. All right, so we've got that. Let's jump into the view. View has an environment. There's the global environment, which this is hidden. I wonder if it'll let me see it if I do view.environment inside the. We're just gonna try it. All right, so delete that. That's bad. Let's go. I don't want completions there. What is it talking about? Get out of my way. Where's my immediate window? Oh, why? Why is that window stuck there? Whoa, coding with Loose. Thanks for the raiding party. Welcome. Welcome. You were awesome. All right, my IDE is being mean to me right now. Why is my window half covered? All right, let's get our immediate window up. View.environ. No, oh, okay, that's better. It went away. I wonder if I can just do environment even though technically it's hidden. So guys, what we're working on, it gave it to me, so we can do a watch value for that. What we're doing is we are working on taking the Fluent UI from this public Microsoft Figma, Fluent iOS. We're working on a code generator. So it'll take these classes and it'll generate all the drawing code. And we still want them to be truly interactive because user controls are interactive. And so there's like animations, but no one wants to write animation code. So our animation code is a one-liner. We're just making it to where it automatically transitions between the two different states, which is working quite nicely, actually. All right, but now we're trying to debug why our styles aren't working, because that's the support we want to add now is styles. Hey, that has a value. Oh no, it didn't. It was lying to me. You saw it. It lied. All right, so let's add in a global watch here. We're going to just go to like, I just want to go and see what's inside of my style stuff and why it's not bringing this thing out. So view dot. All right, this is a private field. It should have a dictionary in there, a big freaking dictionary, which sets all the defaults. I don't know if I can make that text bigger. All right, so button, background color. Value's null. That's the problem. Why is that null? It's set for hovered. It's just not set for default. All right, so there's a problem with my state stuff or my styles. It's the styles, it's not our drawing code. Let's fix that. All right, so we can do that. We can definitely fix that. Oh, and so we can easily do style.id. So we could do skbutton.color. We could fix that. So we could fix it to where it would work with the SK stuff. That'll work. And yeah, styles fix everything. Anything else we're missing in there? No. All right. I like it. Let's dig into this. Let's see why that background color is null, because it should not be null. Because there's colors for that. So let's go check out our material style. We're applying a material theme to our Fluent UI because I had a material theme already built out. So why not? All right, so let's go look at what it's doing. Styles, material. So when it applies the button style, do we have a default button? Okay, button and outline buttons are the same. All right. So now when it does the base.apply, just put a breakpoint there. See what it does. Background color. When it casts that down to the, I know why. This should do this as a color. Can you do that? Okay. I think I can just cast this as a color. This, why is it yelling at me? Yes, it can. Yes, it can. All right, so when it applies the, it should do the defaults. I thought we did these style awares so they can cast both directions. All right. All right, we need to go the other way. That's the problem. My style aware stuff was wrong. It's wrong. Static implicit operator. So what we're doing is we're making it to where this thing can automatically switch from this. Oh, no. So T value. So it can go automatically back from whatever type it is back, and it will always use the default value. All right, and actually this should just do, we can even just use fancy C# syntax here. Actually, yeah, we'll do a try get. We'll make it safe. Key is, didn't I not make these? Oh, right. I wanted to do, the enum is not a constant, is it? No, it's not. So I wonder if I can do that. So if it's a control state of type something, I don't know if this will work. Or else return default. No, that's not going to like that. To or from, it won't let me t-type that. Dang it. Well, I don't want to have an extension because I want this to be automatic because it's not always a color. It needs that. So I can say, I'll just do this for control state because that's what this is truly used for. I don't know what else this is actually used for. It's just a generic thing. So we're just going to do this for now. If tenum is control state, Is that not right? That's a type. I don't know how to do that actually. That's the question. How do I do that? I need to do something to check. Yeah, it's like, I can't do that. Will that trick work? It's so dumb that that works. That's so horrible. Why can't I do that? That's the real question. Is a type. Doesn't like that. If that type is that type. This is tricky. I hate when we're deep in the woods inside of this stuff sometimes. This is tricky C#. Okay, yo, true. Type of, yeah. There we go. Now it works for control state. Else it's just going to return the default. Or I can have it throw. Let's see if that fixes it though. So now our watch should be good when we debug. So setting it as that should be fine, because then when we pull it out, whoa, 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 whoa. Scroll down. Get smaller. All right. Let's see if that style aware thing ever gets called. Maybe we have to cast it when we set it. Actually, let's see if that thing's ever called. No, it's not. Okay. So let's go to the style. Cannot convert from color to comment aware style. Ooh, whoa, too much. Deleted too much. I totally thought that would have worked. We told it how right here. I didn't want to do it just for colors. I want it to work for anything that value is. That end value, we should just take the default one and set it. And right now, I think we're only using that for colors. No, we use it for shadows. We use it for lots of things. So I don't want to do an as color. I was hoping we could do that generic thing to where if we just set out one value of that type, it could do it. Let me see if this thing's used in any other context other than control state. I don't think it is. Everything's always control state. All right, so let's try changing this and maybe this will work. If we just change this to where it takes one T type, I just did something wrong. All right, this needs to be full name as well. See if that still builds. Oh no, that's wrong. All right, so this, do this. That just broke a lot of code everywhere else though. But I don't think it's used anywhere else. All right. Whoa. Holy cow, Anthony writes code. What a raiding party. How is it going? Wow. There's a lot of people. We're writing code as well. Probably not as good as Anthony's code. So we are working on a two-part thing. One thing is we are working on taking code or UI designs from Figma that are fluent iOS is the one we're working on right now. And maybe we'll try some fluid Android. And it's this really big UI thing, but I've made a smaller Figma file so we're not dealing with this like multi-100 meg file every time. And what we're doing is we're making it to where it'll automatically generate interactive animated code directly from these Figma files and their states. So it's kind of cool. It's working. I just got into a bad state. Let me click on this and see if it'll launch. All right, so this button, you'll see how it like fades from this color to this color when you click on it. And then this slider, we're using the like themed ones. If I click on it, it animates between the two states and most of that code is generated. There's a little bit of glue code to say, hey, this UI state to this UI state, so it transitions. But we didn't have to write any of that animation code. All we said is during this state, it's this code, during this one, it's that one, and then it automatically animates. And then this slider, not the grabbing handle one, but the one here, because we haven't done that one yet, is this one. And all we had to do was say what the two rectangles were. And so that way it knows how to, based on the progress, redraw itself. So yeah, now what we're working on is the material stuff comes with a light and a dark theme. And we're doing this for a project called Comet. And we're debugging my Comet styles. I have some things that don't work right with styles, and I'm just realizing that. My default stuff is not right, which is pretty lame. Actually, guys, I might have just thought of a way easier way of fixing the stuff we were just fixing. So we're writing some C# code because, oh, no, we're on this one. This one. I'm going to undo everything I just did here. The mass undo. I just thought of something better. I guess I could reset this file. All right. So once this is, yeah, let's just go to GitHub or go to Git. All right. So let's go to Comet. Let's reset just that style aware file. Style aware, you get reset. All right. So now when we're applying that style, what we do is find references. We're applying the button. One of these is going to set the environment. It's going to loop through each of those style aware. That's it right there. If value equals null, that. Here's where I'm messing up. I need to do one. If it's default, just do the value. Now, why isn't this building? Let's just click run. Okay, let's reload the solution. Me resetting that file made the IDE think I'm not using it anymore, so it got deleted. All right, so let's relaunch this. So we're doing this for C# on iOS, all generated from these Figma files. What were you guys working on? Are you guys working on anything fun over there? Anthony doing anything interesting? I like when I come up with a more elegant solution than what sorry. Did not mean to whistle into there. Solution than what I was already doing. All right, so now we have that. Let's go back to this file. Why is that saying it still doesn't exist? Fun is banned. Oh no. Runs a tight ship over there. I understand. All right. Now we can ditch this because that's not needed anymore. What we'll do is when we're setting this, we're already doing something on a style aware, right? We do the default. Now we loop through this. We need to do at least one of them if... Let me think this through. Maybe that's not going to work. Oh, doing some Python stuff, huh? Yeah, I'm doing C# over here. Slightly different. So I need to do a thing if it is the default string. If key to string equals this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, well, well. What do we have here and why do we have this here? Why in the world would I return null for the default? I was about to add something like that, but not to turn null. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, so what it's doing is two environment variables. When is that getting called? I'm just curious if this is getting called during that set. Let's see what happens. Is that ever getting called? Why can't you connect to the debugger? Come on, you gave up way too early. Let's restart my simulator. I might be restarting my IDE as well. All right, force quit. I am running 2 instances of the IDE, which is always fun to do. New instance. All right, so let's do a new instance with the code we were just working on. We can fix that style, so that way the default style gets picked up. Then our drawing code should snag that default style. Then we'll work on our mapping, so the Figma layers will automatically map to the right key combination stuff, so it will use the right colors or the right stuff. All right, so we had a breakpoint. Hopefully that breakpoint's still set inside of our style aware. No, it's not. All right, let's try that. It is doing that. I wonder why I ever did that. Pair.key, that is so weird. Oh, the key is null. But then that does something weird. No, this is doing what I thought it was going to do. That's what I was just coming to add in. All right, so we're going to run this. And then when we hit our other breakpoint, here, this is where we're debugging. It's not making sense. Let's look at what's in those values now. We should have a button Why is its color, background color, null? Oh, it uses color, I think, just straight up for... No, but that's still null. But then we have one for a hovered. Why is that value null? That's what I want to find out. All right, so we are going to first put breakpoints inside of our style when we're setting the buttons. Apply button style. Button.background color. All right, so now when we do that, I'm going to now step in. All right, so the first one is so this one is setting the key of background color. The values coming in our count. There are 3 values and there's 3 keys. So the default shouldn't say default. That's what it's trying to remove, but it still should have a value. So this pair is a null key with the value. So the new key is just background color and the pair.value is there. It has a value. So let's go to our watch right now, which this dictionary should be smaller. That's all we're doing is adding things to this dictionary. There's only 20 of them. Button.color has a value right now. Let's step through over. Background color has a color. Something's nulling that. What is making that null? Wait, it's getting called a second time. This time with everything null. Where's this one coming from? Oh, I know better than this. Look at this. I'm just an idiot. I'm doing a new one that sets it all back to null. Let's change the orders. Order of operations, people. Order of operations. How much time did I just waste on that? So much time. So much time on order of operations. Okay, let me remove a bunch of unneeded breakpoints now. Colors changed, guys. Colors changed. Some of them did. But that's exactly what we want to see. We're now seeing something. Colors changed. All right, so now those colors are horrible. Let's not use those colors. Now we just need to do the transform, so we'll use those values. The nice thing is I even made this project reference the original project, so we can actually do key-based stuff, which is really nice. So let's go into our mapping helper. Man. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to change some fill color stuff, which should be easy to do. So if we look into our class, let's look at what we've already generated. We have our generated code, which lives right here. So let's start with button. Let's work on button. Button generates all this really, really fun stuff because it does. So we're going to change this content label .font stuff. We can change it. Let's see what values go into our big dictionary. So now we can make those match. We'll do our transforms, and I don't have a breakpoint anywhere. Let's put a breakpoint here. Stop and start. All right, so now that we have some stuff, let's go check our dictionary, our watch files, and we're looking at buttons. And I'm sorry, I cannot zoom this code in very well. I'll do my best. We get to here, if I do one of these hotkeys. There we go. All right, so we are looking for the buttons, which should be towards the top. So button does not, button.color is the text color. So we need to make sure that it switches that to button.color for that text value. Maybe we're going to have to do something different because that's kind of funky. And this isn't setting anything for fonts. How do I set the fonts on buttons? Do I even allow that in my styles? Maybe I haven't even built that yet in styles. So let's figure that out. All right, so let's go into the root. Oh, no, what am I doing there? Close that. Let's go down to styles. And let's see what we even allow you to set. Maybe we'll have to add new stuff. Button styles. We do have text color, text font. So is that not setting anything in there? Maybe down a bit? Maybe I just don't set any of those. And if I don't have it set, I'm not going to set the values on it. But it should do something to where, let's find where that's used. I don't actually apply it. I'm so lame sometimes, guys. So when I apply this button style, I never set that. Come on, I'm trying to make you smaller. All right, so button, apply button. I don't do the text at all. Now it should just be going into here where I have the text stuff. So I do the font, so I should be able to just do dot font. So it'd be like button dot font. We can fix that. Need styles. Gotta have styles working. All right, so in there, what we can do, that's the border. All right, so we'll do the same exact crap. I'm just gonna copy some of this. And you can see how I do it for the font stuff already. We should be able to do button. And actually, let's copy this. Because that's what matters. And actually, that's not. Let's grab the stuff from a label. Where's a label? Gotta have a label in there, no? All right, I don't have a label in there. Totally fine. All right, so what we'll do here is now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do set environment, view, type a button. Okay, so we'll do font size. Here we'll do text font. All right, so now I just need to change all these things to match. Copy and paste. Let's hope I don't mess up on that. It happens. It really happens. All right, perfect. So now that we've got this in here, we're applying our fonts. So now our dictionary should include our font stuff. All right, so it's not liking that. So let's do a new one. So we can do one of these that takes a type. All right, so this one will take a type. And this will be nice and easy. All it's going to do is go set environment. It's going to pass this along. View dot type dot name dot toString key value get property. Beautiful. Now that should compile. Okay. Run this again. See if that'll run. Now this time in our dictionary, we should see some stuff in there about button text. We haven't set the text stuff. Text is empty. So if it's null, it's not going to actually set it. All right, so let's add something in there for it. That will be in the root project. Oh, I wish I wasn't in style hell and I was actually building out the Figma stuff again. Actually drawing the UI. It's way more fun. Way more fun. So we will do a new font attribute. And we're just going to give it a size of like 100. Ridiculously too big, but I just want to make sure that there's a value going into these dictionaries and that I'm actually doing something right. So that way we have values to set from Figma. All right, so now let's go check our giant dictionary again. Come on, let me in. All right, button. Hey, font size, guys. We've got font stuff being set now. Although those should all be null values since I didn't actually set those, but that's fine. All right. So now we're setting button.font.size. We can do that. I like it. All right, so now we were doing something. Didn't I do something with fonts? Can't remember. All right, so let's look at our generated code now. Let's go in here and see if we did anything with fonts. This would all be in here. I thought I did. All right. So I am doing it as one thing. And I might need to separate that stuff out. Let's focus on colors. We've got font stuff semi-working now. We've added in the attribute stuff so the style's actually doing fonts. So that way we'll have something to read from and set from. Let's start matching things up. All right, so Figma text dot color should be fine. We need to change that to be whatever the type is though. So these need to know what they're coming from in order to do that. This is going to be a tad bit tricky because what we have is we have this thing coming in, right? So this is the state dot text. And I do button dot, we need to just change that stuff around because it should be totally fine. Inside my dictionary, I do button, where's the state? Aren't any of these state aware? Oh yeah, so it'll do, oh, dot hovered. It does the state last. No problem. I generating code so I can make it do whatever I want. Okay. So I need that background color to do that code. And what I'm generating right now is not that at all. if I'm going to reuse styles, and I really want to. So go to this class. We are generating state first. All right, well, let's change this up. Let's go look at our code generator. So what we're doing is, oh, I did it all based off prefixes. That's what was nice, is that prefix comes first. And it passed in that state. So what we do is we're looping through all this JSON. So we get this JSON file that tells us exactly what these things are. So if we look at these buttons, the button's going to come in with all these shapes. I just need to think of how to make these things generate properly. So inside of here, this item, not relative transforms. Let's ditch transforms. Let's go look at the children. All about the children. All right, so children's going to give us label. So I need to change this. So I know that that means button dot text dot color. Is that what I name it? I name it, no, it's button dot color. So the question is, how do I transform those into something that makes sense while still keeping these separate? I could do it the easy route. And the easy route is, once I have this dictionary, I just have one that maps them together. I already did that for the text. The text was easy. And I just changed background, so background should do it. I do need to change it to where that state is the end, not the prefix. The problem was I did it for nested, because these things can nest so deep. In this case with, man, this is tricky. Anyone have thoughts? Anyone watching have any ideas? Nobody? You guys just let me struggle, suffer in silence? Well, I'm not suffering in silence. So the main thing, the reason that I prefixed instead of suffixed on these is I did the state. Suffer for your pleasure. I am. All right. So the reason I did this was I know the state. I got to think about it as the way it comes in from Figma. So from Figma, look how these are. It's like, right, the state. I know the state of these. I know, oh, this one is default, this one's pressed, this one's that. And then, so I know the state as the beginning. I get all that data at the beginning. And then as I'm looping through this class, think about this view as different layers. So there's all the children, and I keep passing through what the prefix is. So as I'm building up, I say, okay, so this is a button, it's defaulted, or it's light. So I have light, default. I have that in a separate dictionary. So I have default pressed, right? And then I have default dot background color. Then I say, okay, now we're looping through this. We find the label. All right, so it's still default because it's in the default state. Now I can change that. Actually, that won't matter because I do that at the end, don't I? Let's look at where I generate that code. At the end, I'm looping through this. So here's my code generation. Do I do that when I'm creating these things? I know I do need to do it when I do the drawing layer. The set variables, it creates this giant dictionary. Oh no, that's just creating the dictionary. Let's just look what it's doing when it's setting those keys. The key is background color. Oh wait, that's not a fancy one. So it's already. It's not anything about state at this point, is it? Okay, that's good. That's good. It doesn't, I don't turn it into that mess till I'm writing this code out. Right here. So I can change that. Okay. I don't have to do anything crazy drastic. Because right now the new key is on, because that's setting that state. We're not in the button. We're not even where we're looking at. But I can do dot on, dot off. The button's different because, well, I didn't even do did I do the theming for the toggle yet? I don't think I did. No, I didn't even do the toggle one yet. So, wait, what'd I do? That looks funny. All right, who cares? Let's look at this code we're looking at. Let's get past the buttons. I want out of a button. All right, we're gonna put a breakpoint here. So now we get out of a button. Now the next time that hits, we hopefully in buttons. There we go. So the key is default and that key is background. So we can inverse these. So that way it matches the existing stuff. Okay. That's going to break all of our drawing code now because our drawing code lookup patterns are based off the keys inverse, but that's fine. All right, so now our button should look better for the background at least. So the background key will be background.default. Default, we don't do it. Default should be null. So I need to do a little bit clever stuff here. So p.key equals there we go. Because default shouldn't say default. We never pass in default for default. That's just weird. Why would you ever do that? All right. All right, so now background key or background color, that's perfect. That has fixed that one. That label's fine. Oh, these are all the default ones. So the thing is, the current lookup doesn't do content whatever dot font. It's just going to be button dot font. I think I might just do my own little transform. To be completely honest, that might be easiest. I still like the idea that now we look at my string builder, that's generated. Actually, let me just finish this, then we'll look at the real code it generated. Play. Now let's go look at that code. Oh, whoa, hey. I did not click there. I was here. All right. So it has now changed our stuff. So it's now background color.pressed, background color.disabled. So that now follows our existing stuff. So those background colors will all work. Content is not going to work because when I'm looking up the colors, I don't typically care about it being called content label dot. I'm just going to look for font size, color. So what I can do is I need to tell it if it's the default, but I still need a way to be able to set that text value. So I need to drop this down. So this one, when I'm looking up for the default styles for like the actual default, I'm just looking for not font because font's broken. I'm just going to look for color because that's going to give me that text color. But I need it to be separate in case there's multiple labels. I just need a way to specify the default. So I'm going to do that in my code instead. Let's go fix the controls we just broke, because we just broke all of our color lookups. Inside of, not that handler. Yeah, let's bring over the new code. Oh, don't you drag. New code. Replace. All right, so now we have our new code. Now we've broken all of our lookup stuff. We'll fix that first. So the old code works. Let's go to our app delegate really quick. Let's disable our styles so we can verify this all works right. Because our sample code, we just applied those. We applied that ugly deep orange, which broke everything. Oh, we're hot reloading. Turn off hot reload. That's not working. All right, so let's go fix these. Button handler. Button handler is going through and creating these. So we're going to do this just to make that code easier. We're just going to inverse that. So we have pressed and disabled states. Everything else will drop. So button should now work. Find out. It's going to work, right? We're drawing that shape. All right, button works. Our toggle does not work. Like I said, we broke all that. Our progress does not work. Totally fine. All right, I'll fix that one. Again, this one will be really easy to do. This one just returns key. We don't even need anything. I don't even need that code now. Oh wait, no, that's the, yeah, that's progress. I think the progress will just work. Let's try it. No, progress is broken. What's being generated for progress? All right. All right, we're getting somewhere. Progress is back. Yay. All right. Fix one more. Let's get these all aligned. Let's do our toggle. Oh, I forgot how bad toggle design stuff. All right, that's fine. We'll just inverse them again. The naming of those layers. All right. I think it's all we need. I think it's it. Hopefully that's good. Hey, progress is back. I mean, they're all back. All right. All right, I like it. So the question is, do I do the hit on lookup to where I say if we're looking up that original color, it'll make my generation code more complicated, but it'll make runtime faster. I'm tempted to go that route. So what we'll do is in our code generation, actually, I don't even call into that. For the color, I do all of that in my code anyway. So what we can, and no, and I already took care of the color stuff. Color stuff I've taken care of on that, the default stuff. So we might even be good. We might be in a state And I did it for font too. So what we did originally when we built this was when we get that font, we say, hey, go get the default. And I'm going to change this because I don't. All right. So what we say is we say, go get the font. Here's the default if not. So we're getting all the alignment stuff and then we check up, we look for that stuff anyway. So that should be fine. So if you specify the default for those ones, it's going to redo it. So that should be good. It really should be. Because this value we pass in is the default. So it's going to use this one. If it can't find a font, then it's going to fall back to that. So this is the fallback value. So we should be good. I like it. All right. So let's run it. Then let's switch to a sane color, not that weird orange one. I didn't do the progress yet, but the button should change its background color and its text color. And then we need to teach this to change as well. All right, so let's go look at that. I was just going to look at that code. I'm trying to remember where I was just going to look. My brain, I've been streaming for way too long. My brain's not working and I haven't eaten lunch because I've been streaming too long. All right, so I was just going to go look at something and I forgot what I was going to look at. Color. We're changing colors to not an insane orange color. So actually, to be honest, remember how I ran that thing earlier? Oh well, we're not going to deal with that. All right, so let's do... I know the purple looks good. Let's look at purple. It doesn't have any weird inverse colors. So why is this button weird? What did I do to button, guys? What did I do to that? Let's disable that. It was fine before, right? Okay. All right, let's go look at our text setting, our text colors then. Let's see what's coming out of there. So let's go to our Skia control. Let's see what's in here. Am I even using that color? Okay. Okay, so that has an interesting color there. Let's go to our button. Where's our draw background? I did call it background color in that stuff, right? Wow, that is crazy. How did our text mess up like that? Let's go look what's in our giant dictionary. All right, so button. Oh, we messed with the fonts. We did it. Let's go fix that. I think that's what happened is I messed up all the font stuff when I afted that font style. If you guys remember me doing that. I only filled out the font size and nothing else, and I set it to 100, so it's weird. I bet that's what it was. That looks better. So we were seeing just giant. Why didn't it resize though? It should have measured based off that size. Right. That looks right. Is the background white on those? That looks weird. Let's put a click. Actually, why am I? Oh, I don't change the text block. We just need to put a breakpoint on the drawing layer. So that way when I click, it will redraw because the states change. So it redraws. Let's go to our watch. See what's in this beast. White. It's white. And I haven't added these generic shadow stuff. Oh, it's null anyway. I didn't make that work anyway, so that works. All right, so it also adds that clip shape, which is why we see that border. That's why we see that border still. And the border is not the same because it's probably close enough. But the material adds a border and then I'll clip to that. Okay, so it's working like it should. Let's fix this because this should have the progress now of purple. Because I do have, it's just verifying the styles. I do have progress bar. It does. Okay. So we need to make sure that the progress bar stuff is right. So let's look in here and see what values are in there so we can make sure we make stuff match. All right. So we can do this. So background color, progress bar, track color. So what's the difference between the progress bar track color and the progress bar? The track is the background color, and then the progress is how far along we are. Okay, that's easy enough to do. I wonder why these don't have dots in them, like a lot of our other stuff does. Not that it matters. We do everything via constants, which makes it to where if I change those, it doesn't break everything because you should never be typing those strings in yourself. Magic strings are the devil. So any of those have a constant. All right. Let's finish this long, then I'm gonna have to eat something. Let's get some of these working those styles, and then I think I'm gonna be far enough, and then I'll work on generating the styles later. But let's just make sure the generated code uses the built-in styles. I think that is a very good stopping point. Then we can see who else is off coding. If someone else is building something fun, we can go bother. All right, so inside of here, let's do our progress because the progress does have it. What it does is it's going to ask get environment for that background color. So what we can do is when we do this get state, get values for state. We can do a transform if we want here. All right, so we'll do, and then right here, we'll do something here with this get values for states. We'll do first, if variable transforms, try get value, key out var new key. We only want to set it if it actually is, not if it comes out as null. Actually, it might just do it. I don't know if we can just put key there. We can test. All right, and so now inside of here, we need some of this generated code. This generated code for this progress fill color. This magic emoji string. Is going to be, we call ours, actually, well, like I said, I don't do magic strings when I don't have to. Environment dot, not environment, it's environment keys dot progress bar dot progress color. Oh, actually, that is wrong. So if there's a transform, yeah, we're gonna need to do that a little bit. Let's just get the transforms in here first. All right, and then the other one is the background fill. All right, so what we need to do there equals environment dot progress bar dot track color. Whoa, I just hit something, flashed my screen. I have no idea what I just did. That was crazy. That was weird. All right. So get that value for the state. If all right, so what we'll do is we get that new key. Now what we do is we say object key, I don't know, new key. Actually, we know what it is. I can't make that nullable. Dang it. All right. So then what we say is we get the new key out, right? And so now equals that. If default value is not equal to null, we'll return the default value. If not, or we'll then look from the state for that state. This should be state value, I'm guessing. I don't know. We'll try it. Move all my breakpoints so it'll actually draw. Hey, check that out. It worked. So all we did is we hooked up and we said, if we're looking for those, check if it exists in the default, if the user set it. If the user set it by any means, we'll use that color, else we'll fall back to the ones we shipped with. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot, a lot, a lot. Okay. All right. I think that might be good. I feel good. We got to a good spot. We really, really did. All right. Who's on right now? Let's see who is out there streaming. Actually, I normally put this on a new window when I'm playing with stuff. Seeing who's out there. Let's find someone to raid. Thank you guys for hanging out. This was fun. A little tedious. Definitely went through some really, really tedious stuff. You can see I have matrix math up here. I was dealing with rotations and whatnot inside of this, and I was definitely had to add rotation support because Figma will do that. Things can rotate, especially if you're like animating certain things. Yeah. All right. Let's go check out one of our other live coders. He's working on teaching Git, actually. That's kind of interesting. So thank you guys for hanging out. Will I do a stream Wednesday? I think I have to check let me check my calendar. Good question. Thanks for asking. I might do another stream tomorrow, continue working on some of this stuff. Wednesday, I might. I think I'm going to stream tomorrow morning too. So I'll stream tomorrow morning and I'll let you know tomorrow if I'm streaming on Wednesday. I'm trying to get back into it. I've been working on a lot of things I can't stream, and I'm finally working on projects I'm allowed to stream again. So it's kind of exciting to get to. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks. Definitely. I will try and stream more, guys. I got pretty out of my streaming habit, but I'm getting back into it. It'll happen. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'll be back. I'll be better. I'll be better. Thanks though. This was awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Let's do this raid. Let's go check out what's going on over here. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow I will stream.